Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to replace the battery on this 13-inch MacBook Pro. This is model A1708, mid-2017. Alright, oh actually I have a customer picking up something real quick, so give me a second, I'll be back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry about that. I'm going to get a lot of calls right now because everyone for some reason is picking up and dropping it off at the same time. But anyways, we're going to be using a P5 or Pentalobe 1.2 and a T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. So first we're going to use the P5 or Pentalobe 1.2 to remove all the screws from the bottom. Alright, you want to keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, length. The way I do that, flat side down like that on my desk in the pattern I remove them. So we got 2 here and then we got 4 towards the bottom or the front or whatever you want to call it depending on which way you're working on it. Okay, again, you want to keep all the screws in order. Alright. If this video helps you out, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helps you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. Alright, I'm actually getting another message right now. Hopefully not another person here already. Give me a second. Okay. Alright, anyways, let's go ahead and open this up and we'll see. Alright, so we're going to use a suction cup. You don't technically need a suction cup. You can use tape or whatever. But basically what we're going to do is we're going to lift this cover slightly just so we can get underneath here. Okay, I use my fingernails. You can use plastic pry tools, whatever works for you. And we're going to lift up this side and then work our way down the side. And I'm going to push with my thumb down here while I pull up on this cover with my other fingers, right? Just like this. And there you go. Then we're going to go ahead and do the same thing to the other side. Work our way over, down the edge. Same thing, lift and push down. There we go. Oh, there's a lot of dust in here I'm going to have to clean out. Whew. Okay, anyways, next thing you're going to do is you want to get your fingers in there like that. Okay, and I have my fingernails resting against the back of this because if you get your fingers in there, you can actually scrape your skin off, so be very careful with that. All right, so we're going to grab like that, use our palm, and then we're going to pull down while we kind of push here and keep our fingers over this so that the computer doesn't fall over. All right, so pull down like that. Sometimes it's actually very difficult to remove this plate, so if it's really hard to pull it down, don't worry, that's normal. Just pull it really hard or switch sides and keep trying. All right, so anyways, there we go. We got the cover off and look at all that dust in there. Wow. Okay, I'm gonna have to clean this up first and then we will continue, but yeah, you can see all that dust. The battery has all these little wrinkles in it, which I don't know why it has all these wrinkles in it, but it could be dendrites forming underneath, which are like crystallized lithium poking on it. Anyways, let's go ahead and replace that. We're going to put the lid over here. I'm going to clean up the dust and I'll be back. All right, I'm back. So anyways, you can see it's a lot cleaner. There's still like some very slight dust residue there that kind of I'd have to use like water or something if I really wanted to get it out. So we'll just leave that there. Okay, you can see the fan is much cleaner. Anyways, let's go ahead and get to removing the battery here. Okay, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to be disconnecting the battery, and then also we're going to be removing the trackpad to make it safer to work on. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and peel this plastic piece up here. Okay, all right, slowly, carefully peel this up, just like this. Okay, there we go. So we got that out. We're going to set that aside. Make sure that you put that back later. I mean, it's not 100% required. It's not going to do anything if you forget it, but it's always a good idea to put things back the way you found it. All right. Anyways, we're going to use the T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver. We're going to first remove this cable connection here. Okay, it's going to be tough to see this. Let me see if I can zoom in more for you guys. There we go. All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to flip this latch up, okay? Just use my fingernail. There you go. Once you flip that up, you can kind of wiggle and pull this back. Usually what I do is I grab the cable like this under and then pull that. You want to try and pull it straight back, just like that, okay? Then we're going to undo this screw here. This is a T5 or Torx 5 screw. Sorry, let me move that over. All right. Once you get that screw out, the battery is actually still connected. If you look at it here, so what you want to do, you want to get underneath and you want to just lift it up slightly, and that way this thing is no longer touching those metal pins underneath, as you can see. All right. Okay, give me a second. I'm getting a bunch of messages. Let me take that and I'll be back. All right, so I'm back. Sorry about that. We're gonna go ahead and remove the 2 battery screws here. All right, so there's one on this side. All right, and there's one here, but there's a moisture detection sticker there. So I'm gonna use a small flathead screwdriver to try and scrape that off. All right, usually I'll try and save it if I can, but a lot of times it just ends up getting damaged and you can't. All right, okay, there we go. So we got that. Oops, I dropped it in there. There we go. So here you can see this is the moisture detection sticker, and we're going to set that aside. Okay, and the bottom of this sticker actually has the red stuff on it, and that's how it actually detects the moisture. Okay, we're going to switch back over now to the T5 or Torx 5 screwdriver, and we're going to remove that screw that's under there. Okay. All right, now that we got that screw out, we can also take this cable out. We're gonna have to transfer this to the other battery. All right, so we're gonna do the same as the other side. Just flip that latch up just like that, and then you can go ahead and wiggle and pull this out. Make sure you remember which way it was connected. You can tell because of the little bend or curve in the wire. I like to unbend it so that way I can install it easier. All right. We'll set that aside for now. Okay, next thing we're gonna undo the screws for the trackpad connector. Okay, also T5. There's 2 screws there, so we'll remove those. Okay, once you remove those 2 screws, you can take this little metal plate out. Okay, just grab that. Come on, let go. There we go. And then we're gonna pop this connector out. One thing I forgot to mention, after disconnecting the battery stuff, let me actually do that real quick. So after disconnecting this little cable and that, it always helps to open up the computer and then press and hold the power button for 15 seconds to drain any residual power. This will make it safer to work on. It's usually not as important for replacing the battery and working with the trackpad, but we're gonna do it anyways. All right. Okay, I think it's already been 15 seconds. We're gonna close this up. And then what we're gonna do, we're gonna pop this connector out. So this connector is actually, you just pop it up kind of like a Lego, I guess. I just get underneath with my fingernail and then I just pop it out. It helps sometimes to do both sides and just kind of wiggle it, and there we go. All right, and you wanna be careful because they put this little slit here, so if you just pull it, you end up tearing this cable. So you actually wanna get underneath and grab down here, okay, where the, like past the slit, and then you're gonna peel this up and try and keep it as flat as possible, okay? You don't wanna roll the cable backwards because you don't wanna put a crease in it. And I always keep my finger down here sideways, so that way when it reaches the end of the adhesive, it doesn't just yank the cable out. And there we go, just like that. We're gonna also pull this cable back a little bit. Okay, next we're going to remove the trackpad. So we're going to take all these T5 or Torx 5 screws out. Again, keep all the screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and lengths. All right, there's 4 down this side, 4 down this side, and then you got 2 along the front edge. Okay, again, keep them all in order. Okay, just like this. And you want to be careful when taking out the trackpad because there are little washers there. And if you flip it over or if you set it down too hard, the washers will just fall off. They actually don't hold on really well. They fall out really easily. So you want to be very careful with that. Okay. So we're going to get all of these. Okay, just like this. This and the last one here. All right, next we're gonna lift this up and let this kind of fall through. All right, and you want to be careful. We're gonna slide this cable over, or the trackpad underneath over, so that way the cable can fall through, and we're gonna very carefully lift this out and away. All right, there's like some liquid residue damage there, it seems. I don't know. Okay, and you want to be careful. Here are the washers I was talking about. You got these rectangular ones, you got these tiny circle ones, and yeah, so you want to be very careful. even if I just like blow on it slightly, they can fly off. So I have to like be very careful when I clean this piece. Okay. All right. So I'm going to try and carefully use this blower to kind of get the dust out. Oh, you can see that one. It just flew over there so easily, and I'm like blowing it super gently. All right. So you want to be very careful. See, it just falls off so easily. Okay, so we're going to grab that. Make sure these washers stay there. Okay. Guess I'll remove this by hand. Okay. All right, and there we go. We're going to carefully, gently place this to the side. All right, next thing we're going to do, we're going to now be scraping out this whole battery. And this process can be a pain. We're going to use a very thin metal pry tool. I've seen people use dental floss to do this kind of thing. Some people flood it with like some chemicals like nail polish remover and stuff, but I find that very scary to do. So I'm not going to be doing any of that. I'm just going to use this flat tool. It's not a knife, it's not sharp, okay, but it's very flexible, and that's what you want, okay? You don't want something that's stiff and rigid. You don't want to use a knife because you don't want to cut a hole into the battery. So yeah, you want to be very careful. All right, we're going to start over at the center here because this side here has a little dip where the tool will just get stuck in. Okay, so we're going to do this, okay, and we're just going to work our way underneath like this. Okay, you can actually see the battery gets pushed up slightly, okay, and you actually always want to work in like straight line like that. You don't want to try and like slide it over sideways unless you already cut the adhesive there. Okay, so then we're going to work our way over this way, and then same thing. Okay, and then we're just going to continue doing that until we cut all the adhesive out. And then after that, we have to remove the adhesive residue so the new battery can stick down. And yeah, okay, so just like this. You can see the adhesive actually cuts through very easy, which is how it should be because it's a foam and it has like 2 layers, so it separates both sides of the adhesive. Okay, sometimes they can be more of a pain, but this one's cutting through pretty easily. Hopefully it's not going to be a pain when I go to remove it. Sometimes the adhesive, the remaining adhesive, it just crumbles and doesn't let you peel it up, which you will see in a bit. Okay, here we go, and continue working that way and then go that way. All right, and there you go. You can see we got the first pack up. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Okay, I'm left-handed, so you do what feels comfortable for you. All right, so we're going to go like that, work our way over just like this. Okay, work our way over some more. Okay. Alright, and we're just going to keep working our way over. Again, it's very important you don't use a sharp tool because if you do puncture the layers, you can cause a fire. I've had people tell me don't use metal. Metal's not really the problem because you can poke a hole through this with a piece of wood or plastic or rubber and it's still going to go on fire. You can actually like bend this in half like several times and it will go on fire. The reason it goes on fire is because you're puncturing the layers and you're allowing the stuff to kind of mix together and you don't want that to happen. All right, so we're going to continue working our way down. Okay, you want to try and go in a straight line. The reason I'm going diagonal is because it hits the little dip down there that I was talking about, which I'll show you once I get the battery pack out completely. And that prevents you from kind of pushing forward. So right now it's hitting that dip, and then I have to raise it up a bit. Okay. All right, just like that. Go over that way, and same thing. And we'll just keep continuing. Okay, just like that. All right. There we go, we got that battery packed up, and now all we got left is the middle. The middle one's a little bit nice because if you want, you can actually open this thing up and you can actually see where the tool is going. You will have these other battery packs flopping around, so you want to be careful, but as you can see, you can see in the center where you're going. So usually I'll tilt it this way so the battery packs aren't flopping around, and then we're gonna work the tool in like this. Okay, hopefully you can see. All right, and then I'll show you what's going on underneath. Okay, so once you get that, you can see we're getting the tool into there just like this, okay? And it's going underneath this metal layer. So I'm gonna continue with that, and yeah, and then I'll flip it over once I'm done. But let's go ahead and cut all this adhesive out. Okay, some people use a much wider tool, and that kind of makes it a little bit easier because you don't have to cut as many times. All right, but it can be a little bit more dangerous because you're trying to cut a lot more of the adhesive at the same time, and that basically pushes the battery all up. So I mean, use whatever works. This is what works for me. Okay, again, some people use dental floss and that works for them. I've tried it and it just hurts my fingers. So, right, hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing because I'm focusing on what I'm doing, not really on the recording right now. Okay. And also, some people do this without removing the trackpad, but it's pretty risky. You can damage the trackpad. I've actually had someone that watched my video and then they didn't remove the trackpad and they scraped up all underneath and destroyed their trackpad. But anyways, now we got all the adhesive cut. We're gonna wiggle this out to the left here so that the battery doesn't reconnect. And here you can see we got the old battery out. Okay, we'll set the old battery aside. All right, next thing we're gonna see if we can remove all this residue here. All right, usually this is kind of a long, tedious process, kind of annoying, but it's kind of got to do it or the battery pack's going to be shaking around inside. All right, I mean, you could also put adhesive in between here. Some people choose to do that, but I prefer to have it stick down nicely completely. All right, so let's go ahead and get this up. I like to use this plastic razor blade to do this. Okay, so basically I scrape this a little, and then if I can, I will try and grab the part that's coming up and slowly, carefully peel this out. And if you can peel it out, the more you can peel out, the better, because less residue will stick. As you can see, this part is cut, so it's probably just going to tear. Yep. And then we're going to have to use rubbing alcohol to clean that off, or isopropyl alcohol, whatever you want to call it. All right. Again, some people use more harsh chemicals like nail polish remover. If you do that, you want to be very careful because nail polish remover does dissolve plastics, and that could actually end up dissolving your keyboard and things like that. Okay, I've had someone spill nail polish remover on their keyboard. That was not fun. Yeah, they basically had to replace the whole keyboard. All right, so let's go ahead and peel that up again. Kind of, this stuff keeps tearing, it's being annoying. And why is it tearing? Okay. Carefully peel this out. Alright, you see all this residue that's staying behind. I'm gonna have to clean that out with rubbing alcohol. There's also some crumbs in here that I'm using the adhesive to pick up. Alright. This had a weird angle for me. I'm gonna rotate it. Alright. Carefully peel it up. There we go. Okay. right, and we're just going to continue the process of peeling these things up. Oh no. Okay. There we go. Oh, I forgot to mention, so these are the divots you can see. So when you try and pry under, you end up hitting this. So it's easier to kind of go a little bit at an angle, go under, pull it back out, go a little at an angle, go back under. And that's what I was doing, okay? So, that junk out. All right, let's go ahead and get this one. Nope. Didn't mean to scrape the stuff off. Try to peel both at the same time because it's split. There, oops. There we go. Again, you want to do this slow. If you pull it too fast, it's just going to tear. Okay. Some people get mad at me for recording this entire process and not speeding it up or whatever. But the whole point is so you can kind of follow along. You could easily fast forward if you want. So if that bothers you, go ahead and just fast forward through it if you don't want to watch the entire process. But sometimes people want to see what's going on, what troubles you'll run into, things like that. Okay. All right. So I like to record the whole thing. All right. Also, because I send this to my customers, I want them to see how much time and work actually goes into it. And if you guys don't know, editing actually takes a lot of time and work as well. So if I edit it to make it look like it was easier, then I'm doing extra work to make my job look easier, which looks bad for me, not good. So yeah, and it's also less helpful for people that actually follow along with the videos or use them for repairing things. Okay. All right. Just peel it out just like this, slowly, carefully. Okay, clean up the crumbs. Alright, still a little bit stuck there. At different angles, it's kind of hard to see. I'm getting another message, so give me a second. What is going on here? Wait, who's this? Okay. Oh, the customer was asking when they should come to pick up their computer. So, alright, let's go ahead and peel this up. Oh man. Oh, there's a tear on that side, so I have to peel it in a way to prevent it from tearing on itself. There we go. So I pull it at that angle so it's less likely to tear itself. Okay. And last piece before we clean out all the residue. Okay, use the scraping tool to kind of lift it up. Same thing, carefully, slowly peel this back. Because there's cuts in the thing that way, I'm going to peel it this way, okay? And that helps reduce the risk of it tearing. Okay. Uh-oh. There's a cut on that side. Peel it up and roll it around, and then go back this way, and there we go. All right. So next thing we gotta do is clean up the residue here. So we're going to use some isopropyl alcohol. I use 91%. but lower percentages will work. It'll just be a little bit less effective. You'll have to use a little more elbow grease or just continue for quite a bit longer. But anyways, let's go ahead and get this. Okay, so I just tear a piece of paper towel and I fold it up like this so it can kind of soak into the paper. Put it over the nozzle and then do this. You don't want to actually do this over the computer because it can spill out and then drip on the computer. Okay, and now that we got the rubbing alcohol there, we can kind of just wipe up the residue here. If there's any stubborn spots like this stuff, I don't know if you can even see that there, then you can either continue just rubbing it with more rubbing alcohol, or you can kind of scrape it with a plastic tool first, because this one's going to be tough. So I'm going to actually use the plastic tool to kind of scrape off the top layer, and that kind of thins out the adhesive and makes it easier to wipe up. Alright, doesn't make it completely easy, but it makes it a lot easier than if you were to just keep working at it and slowly dissolving little by little. Okay, so this side is good. Actually, there's a little down here. And then we're going to have to get a clean one later, but let's go ahead and continue with these sides. Okay. Continue just cleaning it, get all that rubbing alcohol into the adhesive, scrape it all out. Okay. Right, there we go. I'm going to fold this over to a cleaner side and we'll continue wiping. The reason is we don't want all the residue to kind of go back on there. Alright, now we're going to do this side. That off. Alright, got most of it up pretty nicely. Now we're going to get a new piece of paper towel. Okay. And same thing, just fold it up, get some more rubbing alcohol on there, and we're just gonna kind of sweep up the residue that was left over. Okay, good. Clean that off. Okay, this off. Clean this off. All right, good. Try this up. Try that up. Okay, there's still some crumbs in there, so I'm just going to blow that dust out. All right. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to put the new battery in. So let's zoom out here. Zoom out a bit more. Okay. Put that there. Okay. So we're going to get the battery here. This is from Amazon. All right. Usually the batteries will have about a year warranty. Some of them will sometimes have like 18 months or something. But anyways, we'll just pop this open. This has all this stuff to use. If you want, you can try using that. I don't like using those. They don't work as well as the tools I have. But here you can see. And this one, the brand specifically is SNSYIY. There you go. All right. If you're wondering how I pick the batteries, usually you go with the ones that have good reviews. All right. Of course, you don't want to get something with bad reviews. Oh, this one actually has the cable built in, so we don't have to transfer over the battery. That's nice. Or transfer over this cable. Or actually, it's not built in. They just left a cable there for me. I don't know if I should use this or transfer over the one that was initially there. I'll probably transfer over the one that was initially there because this is missing the little pull tab that makes it easier. Okay, you want to kind of test fit this. So you can kind of slide it in place, make sure it lines up right. Okay, everything looks good. Make sure you're not going to be covering these screw holes and things because you are going to have to screw the trackpad back in, of course. Okay, and then make sure also that you can kind of maneuver this and get these screws in. All right, let's go ahead and lift this back up. All right, there's also this piece here that you can kind of make sure is a little flat. All right, so let's go ahead and peel off the adhesive protective piece for the double stick adhesive. So we're going to peel this up just like that. Okay, we're going to do that for all three. Okay, this adhesive is going to hold actually stronger than the original one, but let's go ahead and get that out. Toss that aside. All right, so again, we're going to just get this all lined up, slide that in, and again, make sure you don't cover these screw holes. Okay, oops, make sure you get that into place. I'm pushing it slightly upwards, like up against this area. Okay, and then we're going to slowly drop that in. Okay, and again, make sure all the packs actually go into place. Slowly, carefully drop that. There we go. Good. All right, looks good. Let's go ahead and line this up real quick. Again, I'm going to transfer this cable over, so let me actually take this out. I'm going to flip that latch up, and let me make sure also that the cable is the same, because sometimes they're slightly different. All right, so here you can see this one has the Apple model information on there. And if you're wondering, it's a 821. I don't know if you can even see that. Come on, focus on that. 821-00614-A. All right, so if you happen to damage the cable, that's the model number, or if you lose it or something. Okay, anyways, I'm going to set that aside for now because I do want to make sure everything's lined up first. Okay, once you get all of that in, we're going to actually peel off this clear layer. The way you peel the clear layer off, you want to actually roll it over this way. And also here they have a thing to contact them if for some reason it's not working right. But we're going to peel it off this way. And the reason we do that is because we don't want this to pull up layers of the battery. Okay, so when you peel it this way, it's a lot less likely that you're going to peel up layers of the battery. Okay, just like that. Okay, there we go. Got the battery installed. We're going to now put back these T5 Torx 5 screws. Okay, you want to make sure that this board is lined up because there are the metal contacts underneath there that need to connect to the battery. Okay, so we're going to get this screw in. Usually what I like to do is I like to loosely fit the screw first, so that way I can get both screws in and line everything up before I tighten it down. Okay, you want to also check, oops, I should zoom in more. You also want to check when this tab goes down that these gold things are centered. So as you can see, we actually want to pull it over to the left a little. And there you can see now it looks centered, okay? You don't want to push this down all the way though, because you don't want to reconnect the battery yet. And then we can go ahead and tighten this into place. Okay. Just like that. Again, you want to double check. And you also want to make sure that the little circles line up as well, okay? All right, so once this is centered, and you kind of want to check, actually I need to move it down slightly because at the viewing angle I'm at, it looked like it was, but it's not. Okay, so I'm going to pull it down slightly this way as well. Okay, then we can tighten that down and tighten that down. All right, and then let me double check one more time. All right, so that looks perfectly centered now. So we should be good to go. Again, make sure those screws are nice and tight. And then we can also put back that little liquid spill detection sticker. Just line it up and stick it back down there. Okay, there we go. All right, let's go ahead and put this little ribbon cable on as well. All right, we're gonna flip this latch up. Make sure, okay, it's already up. And then line that up, get that into place. I usually find it helps to kind of fold this down more flat, and then where it bows up when I'm pushing on it, I can push down on that, and that actually pushes the cable into the socket. I don't know if you can see that, but there we go. Come on. You might have to also wiggle it in if it doesn't go in from just that. All right, and there you go. You're always going to see a little bit of the gold sticking out. That's normal. Let me zoom in so you can see that a little bit clearer. There you go. So you're always going to see a little bit of that gold sticking out. That's normal. And then just slide your finger over to latch it down. Right, just like that. Good. All right, let's go ahead now and get the trackpad back in. Let's zoom out here. Okay, there's a little trick to the trackpad I'm going to show you because you want to get this centered. But anyways, what you do, we're going to open up the screen. Okay, lift up the trackpad, place it on the screen, lift the cable up, thread it through there. Okay, once you get it threaded through, you're going to carefully pick up the trackpad. All right, make sure the cable continues threading through. Okay, just like that. All right, and then you're going to hold the trackpad into place. Okay, once you get it lined up, hold that into place. We're going to get the screws in. I'm going to keep my hand underneath here holding that into place. Okay, and we're going to get these screws in. Okay, just like that. And it helps to actually start with 2 corners. Okay, so that one and this one. All right, once you get the 2 corner screws, you don't have to technically hold this anymore, and you can actually drop it down. And then we can go ahead and get the other ones in. We're still just going to loosely fit them. You don't want to tighten the screws down all the way because we are going to have to align the trackpad, all right, or center it. So you'll see what I mean real soon. We're right now just getting these screws loosely fit. Okay, just like that. Again, you don't want to tighten the screws down yet. This, 2 more, this one, and this one. All right, once you've done that, if you want, you can actually go ahead and reconnect the trackpad cable. Just make sure it's lined up. You'll know because, as you can see, it stops moving once it drops into place, and then you can click it down. And then you're going to go from here, work your way over, and then work your way down this way. All right, that's how you make sure that you keep that all lined up properly. All right, next we're going to open up the MacBook. We're going to actually flip this over. Be careful that you don't damage this cable. Okay, I'm going to actually slide the laptop like this so that way the cable lines up normally. All right, and then as you can see, the trackpad can kind of wiggle all over the place. So for this, we're going to have to line it up, make sure it's centered. And usually what I do is I kind of push it all the way up, and then I kind of like find the center here. Okay, once I find the center, then I kind of like pull it down slightly. And then we're gonna use tape. Okay, and usually I'll make tape with like little fold flaps on it. All right, so that way I can peel it up later if I need to, and if I need to reposition it. Okay, so I'm gonna use 2 pieces of tape here. And then I'm gonna kind of look more above to kind of make sure it's aligned. Okay, and you can actually adjust it if you want to move it slightly up more or slightly down more, and then tape that down. All right, and we're going to do that for both sides. Usually once I get one side anchored down, I use that to kind of guide. So I'll push up, and then I find where the max and the minimum, and then I'll go halfway down, and there we go, and then stick that back into place. All right, so that should be good. Maybe I need to pull it over sideways a bit, but that should be about right. Okay, and it doesn't need to be 100% perfect, but I kind of like to make sure it's as centered as possible. Okay, so that looks good. Maybe a tiny bit on this one. Let me see here. Okay. Am I misaligning it? Okay, there should be good. All right, and just check from the top, make sure it looks lined up, good. Then we're gonna close this, flip it back over, and now you can go ahead and tighten all those screws back in. Oh, we're getting all that dust on it, with crumbs and whatever. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and tighten these screws back down. Okay, just like this, and it helps to kind of do the 4 corners first, and then you can go ahead and tighten all the rest. All right, there we go. You can go and tighten all these down. And after we get all the battery and everything reconnected, we do have to plug it in or it's not going to power up. So keep that in mind. All right. Your MacBook won't turn on unless you reconnect the charger first. Okay, so we're done with that. We're going to now take the metal bracket for the trackpad here. We'll put that over the top. We're going to loosely fit the screw first. Okay, so let's zoom in a bit here. Okay, get that screw lined up, loosely fit it, and the reason we do that is so we can align this. All right, make sure this one is going in, and then we can go ahead and tighten that down, Good. All right, now we're going to get this, the battery screw back in. So just line that up and tighten that down. Perfect. Okay, then we're going to get this cable and we're going to go ahead and line that up and push that into place. Okay, it actually helps to use this plastic tab here to help pull that. So I use more of my thumbnail to kind of guide it or to push it, and the top to kind of help pull it. All right, so there we go, just like that. Now you can see it's in place, and then we're going to slide our finger over that latch to latch that down, put that into place, and then we're going to go ahead and put this plastic piece back on top as well. I like to line it up with the screw here, and then I just roll it over, and then I make it follow this raised metal part of the case. There we go, just like that. Okay, now let's go ahead and power it up and make sure everything is working. So we're going to zoom back out. Okay, we're going to go ahead and get the bottom cover. Temporarily, we're just going to snap it on like this. We're not going to slide the latches in, but we will have to slide the latches in later. All right, otherwise you're going to have this thing all just sticking up like that, and you don't want that. Okay, we'll flip this over. It's not going to turn on right now. Let's go ahead and peel off the tape here as well. Okay, on both sides. Okay, and let's go ahead now and plug in the charger. So we're going to plug this in, and you should feel the trackpad clicking. Yes, we do. The battery actually showed low battery. Oh, it's starting up. Okay, so what we're going to do a PRAM and SMC reset. So first thing we're going to do is SMC reset. So Control Option Shift on the left side, power button. The screen should go off completely as you saw. All right, now we're going to do a PRAM reset. So to do that, press the power button and then immediately Command Option P and R, or I guess you can wait a few seconds, but the screen should come on and then it should shut back off, and then the computer should start itself back up. That's how you know you did a PRAM reset properly. I can also push the trackpad and feel that it's clicking, and that's kind of how I know that it's doing its thing. So you hear the chime. You should, after that, oh, it didn't do it. So I guess we'll have to try again, but it's just booting itself right now. But anyways, that's how you can see it's working. I'm going to actually unplug the charger right now and see if it stays on. Good. So that means the battery is holding a charge, and we should be good to go. You hear it making the charging sound, and on both, so we should be good. All right, anyways, I'm going to try the PRAM reset again. So we're going to restart the computer, and then we're going to hold Command Option P and R. So I actually see the mouse right here, so it actually didn't restart yet. Okay, now it restarted. So I'm going to keep holding this, Command Option P and R. All right, and I think on this model, maybe it just doesn't show the screen coming on the first time, and it's just restarting itself, and then it's already done with the PRAM reset. Because when you do PRAM reset, it actually resets the volume to the maximum. Let me try doing it. Yeah, I think it already does the PRAM reset. Anyway, so that's pretty much all there is to it. Hopefully this video, oh, actually, let me slide the bottom cover back on. Other than that, that's all there is to it. But let's go ahead and flip this over, and I'll show you how to do that. And the way this mechanism works, so we're going to pop this back out. You can see there's these clips here, and then there's these clips on both sides here. So basically what you're going to do, you want to line up the side edge, all right? And just like before, we're going to do one side at a time. So make sure the edge is lined up, and then you're going to slide that in. Then you're going to go ahead and make sure this one isn't latched in yet. You can pull it back too if you want, just like how I did. And then make sure to hold that down and then slide that up. All right, usually this will come out a tiny bit, so we'll slide it up again. And then we'll go over here, slide that up again, and I'm just holding it like that and pushing with my thumb. And then once you verify that the edges are lined up nicely from side to side, you can go ahead and click the sides in, click the middle in, and then we can go ahead and get all the screws back. And that's pretty much all there is to this. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, make sure to like, subscribe, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. If it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Again, every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. This last week was really bad. I probably worked less than a quarter of what I normally get, which is really, really bad. So yeah, anyways, you can watch, you're welcome to watch while I get all the screws back in. But that's pretty much all there is to it. All right. Last couple screws. All right, last one here. There we go. All right, and thanks for watching. And yeah, see you on the next one. Let's drop this. Bye.